and welcome to Stamford Bridge. Welcome to the home of Champions of Europe, Chelsea Football Club. Hopefully this time next week we'll be champions of the world. My name is Martin, and we also have Sam here. We'll be taking you around. It will take about 45 minutes. In a moment we're going to go to the visitors' dressing room. We've had teams like Manchester United and Barcelona and Liverpool, etc. over the past year. Then we're going to go, of course, to Chelsea's dressing room. We're hanging up, we have all the shirts of all of the first team players. You can get some great photographs in there. We'll go down the tunnel, just like the players do on a match day. You can sit in the manager's seat. And then finally we'll finish the tour at the top of one of our stands where you get a great view overlooking the pitch. Here, 2 wooden massage beds for the players. Okay, Chelsea have 6 state-of-the-art massage beds. Here, it's very small, very low lockers. Fine for Lionel Messi. Okay, but for Peter Crouch, for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Sorry, Lewandowski. Yeah, tall players. I'm going to struggle with these. I don't think he's played here, but you know. Okay. We've got a tactics board here. We put that behind the door, so nobody can see. And it's not very convenient for the players here, especially when we put a security man here for health and safety reasons. Okay? It might sound a bit unfair, but when Chelsea go to away games, sometimes the floor has been polished to make it extra slippery for our players. Sometimes there is no hot water. Okay, our players have to have cold showers. Do not sit in numerical order. In some teams, they sit all through their squad numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here at Chelsea, they sit in groups of friends. Now sometimes this is because of the language they speak, and sometimes it's because of the position they play. So over here, we have the goalkeepers. Okay, the goalkeepers are all playing for just one place in the team, but they're all very supportive, they all work very closely with each other. And of course, at the moment, the #1 goalkeeper is Petr Cech. These players along here, they all speak Portuguese. So we've got Paulo Ferreira and Enrique Hilario, okay, from Portugal. And then you've got 3 more Portuguese speakers from Brazil. We have Ramirez, we have Oscar, we have, of course, David Luiz. Okay. Now, when we come around this corner here, this is traditionally where all the players from Africa sat. You can see they're used to warmer climates because they've taped up their air conditioning. But we have 2 players here, Mikel and Moses, who represent Nigeria. But this used to be Michael Essien, and this used to be, of course, Didier Drogba, one of Chelsea's greatest ever players. And we have 2 players here who speak French. We have Florent Malouda and Eden Hazard from Belgium. And of course we have 4 players from Spain. Our latest Spanish player is Cesar Azpilicueta, although a lot of the Chelsea fans are struggling to say his name, so they just call him Dave. We have Oriol Romeo, who joined us from Barcelona. We have Fernando Torres, our record signing. And then of course we have our player of the year, Juan Mata. I'm going to show you inside his locker. Now you can see it used to belong to Giuliano Belletti, okay, a Brazilian player who used to play for us, but sometimes when a player leaves they like to put their badge up in their locker so they're not forgotten. This area here, they can put their Dolce & Gabbana suits in. They're another sponsor of Chelsea, D&G, so every player gets a nice suit from them at the beginning of the season. Area here for the rest of their clothes. Now you can see some vents at the back there. They can even put perfumed air through there if they like, so everything smells nice and fresh after the game. Okay, here is a plug socket where they can put in their phones, their laptops, and their tablets and things and play Angry Birds before the game. And here is a bling box. They put their earrings and their necklaces and their Rolex watches and their Ferraris and all sorts of different things. Okay. Then of course we have, very importantly, the players from England. We have 3 England internationals along here, and then we have 2 very famous players for Chelsea. We have Frank Lampard and John Terry, the captain and the vice-captain. 2 players who have played more than 500 games for Chelsea. Only 5 players have ever played more than 500 games. Another England international, Gary Cahill. We have Branislav Ivanovic from Serbia and Marco Marin from Germany over here. Along the front of the row is his coaching staff. We have the coaches and the physiotherapists and the doctors sitting along the front here. And the back row here, this is where the substitutes sit. Some players are very superstitious, like to sit in the same seat every time. Fernando Torres likes to sit, not in the one you're in, but the one just next to him. That's it, that's where he sits. Okay, and where this lady is sitting here, this is where Frank Lampard likes to sit. Of course, they all prefer to be out on the pitch scoring goals, but when they have a rest, okay, they always like to sit in the same seat. Back behind there, behind the glass, that's where the unlucky players, unfortunately the injured players, or the suspended players, or the younger players who are yet to break into the team, that's where they are on a match day. The manager likes them all to be very close because it's good for team spirit, it's good for team morale. Likewise, either side, the younger fans, the family section, they like them to be very close to the team as well. Used to be where the away fans were, but Jose Mourinho, when he was in charge here, didn't like that. He came down the tunnel for his first game in charge of Chelsea and realised he was surrounded by thousands of Manchester United fans. Okay, all pointing, shouting, singing at him. For the next game, the away fans were not by the dugouts. They're over it. Also quite a long way from the pitch. There used to be a running track around the outside. The stadium was initially built for athletics. When I first came to my first Chelsea game, there used to even be cars parked behind the goal, and the fans were all the way behind that. In the 1990s, English football entered a new era, the Premier League era. Lots of new types of fans started coming to games, overseas fans, families, and we decided to overhaul not just this stadium, but all of our stadiums. They all had to become all-seater. Okay, and that meant that we had to redevelop 3 of the stands here. This one here, over here, the west stand, and at the other end of the stadium. Okay, we made those stands a lot closer to the action, so they're not only safer, they're a lot closer, which is definitely a good thing for the fans. Most of the hardcore Chelsea fans nowadays stand at the other end of the stadium. They're supposed to be sat down, but most of them stand up throughout the game. This side over here, lots of noisy fans over here as well, but usually it is half for the away fans. So from this fence here, all the way around there to that row of yellow seats, that's usually reserved for big teams like Barcelona, Manchester United, Liverpool, etc. 3,000 tickets. When we play a smaller team, someone like Bolton, Wigan or Manchester City, we give them 1,500 seats. Absolutely true last season. 1,500 seats from that second fence there around to that row of yellow seats over there. Okay, sometimes when we play our local rivals, Queen's Park Rangers, we usually only just give them those yellow seats for their fans. No, that's just a joke. No, the yellow seats are actually...
Do you have any, like, you know, high fences dividing the sections?
No, not allowed. No. So that's what we have there. Those are for stewards. Okay, so we have a row of stewards, we have some netting. There is no fencing allowed in English football. But what we do have is this box up here. This is for the head of police, head of security, head of stewarding. They can make sure there is no trouble between the 2 sets of fans. We have the bottom section here is for the younger fans, as mentioned earlier. The older fans tend to sit higher up in the east stand over here. This is our oldest stand, by the way. This dates back to 1974. And right at the top of that stand, that is where the commentators sit in those black seats. And the blue platform above, that's where the television cameras are. Okay, you can see some more platforms around here for different camera views, but that's where the main view is, up at the top of that stand there. Now opposite, we have the west stand, and this is the newest stand by comparison. 2001 that was completed. So just over 10 years old. It cost £35 million to build. It's the most expensive stand.
We'll always follow Chelsea, that's why we're love this pride. When I was a little boy, I wanted nothing else. One day my dad